lady. She's talking about, hey. She got the big Kool-Aid smile going on. All the time. Yes. Welcome on in. Hey, Lisette. How are you, Queen? You said I finally caught a live. So happy you're in here. Way. I'm feeling much better. Happy Labor Day. Sierra, what's going on, beautiful? Happy Labor Day. Tamika Davis. Welcome, Queen. What's today? So it's Monday. This is your weekly shout out. I know it feel like we just did this, and I treat you like you're one of my channel members. You know that, right? Because you're my special. You're my special, Tamika. I've been treating you like you're a member, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you're always there for all of my live streams and stuff, all of my uploads, everything, even my community tab. I acknowledge that. And I treat you like a member because in my mind, you are. So I always like to go out and give you a special shout out, regardless if I had members or not. I know East Dad was the original, now first member, but in my mind, Tamika Davis was already my member, okay? That's my ride or die. I always use you as an example, as you always hear. I do not mind giving props. Seeing somebody else come in. Missy, welcome, Queen. Good to have you here. I'm back. I'm biggity back, y'all. I'm like, who was that say that? Oh, Jackie. How are you ladies doing today? Is anybody barbecuing? Can y'all send me some food? Because I'm not barbecuing. We don't do that. I'm still over here resetting for the week. So, to be honest, I ain't do no laundry yesterday. I normally knock it out. But once I realized, like, oh, it's Monday. Extra day. I'll back burner that. Because I told y'all I am still getting a little winded in between tasks and stuff. So I just wanted to come on. Listen, I told y'all anytime I'm not doing nothing, it's nothing for me to set up this ring light and come on. And I have a book with 50 million topics going on in it. So it's nothing for me. Get up. It's nothing for me to come on and grab a topic and let's go. So today, ladies, Missy says she's not. I'm surprised, Missy. I thought you and the family would be barbecuing. Everyone cleaning the house, getting ready for school to start tomorrow. Oh, y'all start tomorrow. Wow. Next week, baby girl starts pre-K. Oh, wow. Yay! All 4 kids in school. Don't know if y'all ever saw, and I can't dance worth a lick, aside of line dances and stuff like that, because you blend in with everybody, so nobody really know that you can't really dance. I mean, I can 2-step and stuff like that, but I ain't the greatest dancer. However, a few months back on Instagram, I had this little post of how I feel every morning when I drop those oldest ones off at the bus, and it's just me and Tyjon, and I'm trying to, yeah, that's how you feeling right now. All of them going to school. It's a wonderful thing. I said this the other day, and I see Deandra coming in. Welcome, Queen. Listening and cleaning. Absolutely. I'm doing laundry. I'm going to hold you accountable. I just like to say that word when Deandra shows up, y'all. If y'all don't know this, I like to tease her. She said that will be me. Listen, you're going to be jamming. You're going to be cutting the food. You ain't going to know what to do with yourself. Now that you don't have, because when Tyjon left, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. Back in 2020, when the pandemic started, before it was announced, I used to say to my mom, January, February, the beginning of March, like, oh my God, I can't wait for September. We spending the night at the bus stop the night before. Didn't the pandemic happen? My mom laughed so hard, like, he ain't going to school in September, I can tell you that now. I said, you mean to tell me this is a curse? Somebody heard me say it and somebody put a root on it. And not only did I have to keep him that next year, the whole year home and homeschool. Oh my God, that was so unfair to me. I feel like they gypped me out of 1 year. They took a whole year away. That's how I feel to this day. I had to keep that boy home another year. And baby, when he went back and they started sending him home with COVID, especially when his brothers had it at their school, but the nurses knew each other, so they would call over to his school. Oh, his brothers got it. And they would send him home too. But I used to be so mad at the nurses. Like, listen. And I said it the other day. Deandra, Sierra, I'm sorry. They my daytime babysitters. Don't be sending them boys back home with me until 3:25 or later. I just feel so slighted. And don't let me know they got a half a day. My whole week is ruined. Because that's a few more hours I got to deal with these hard-headed little boys. Oh, my God. The sad part about it is I'm not going to be able to hang out and do live streams during the day because all of y'all are working mommies and y'all not on overnight like me. So if I go live, who going to be in there with me and Team Happy? I mean, I don't mind hanging out with them. But I need somebody I can identify and laugh and bust it up with, too, in between. They come, and I love them. That's my Filipino family, y'all. But they 12 hours different from us. So right now, while we're looking at 1 p.m., 1:15, it's 1:15 a.m. They're sleeping. I love their support. Oh, my God. Beautiful people, as y'all can see. I'm trying to drive them to y'all channels because you see they're very supportive. Just reading the chat. You went live? I missed it. Oh, you know I'm going back to watch the replay, right? Look, real pen. I stay ready. Watch these replay. Yesterday's book with the lady that came in the chat and gave me all her people's channels to go and subscribe to. You're right on the list with them 24 to 48 hours later, but yours going down right after this live stream. I'm so happy to hear that you went live. Try to stay committed to doing it at least once a week. Try to give us some of those games that's coming up for the kiddos. I know what you said because I finally went back and watched your upload yesterday where you said, seems like when you have the camera in your hand, they start losing. Give us some footage. You know, I love stuff like that. I tried to get my boys signed up and they said we're too late. I'm always late. I don't know when I should start looking into these because it's been years since I had a little one to put in Little League and stuff like that. So help me out here. When is a good time of the year? And I'm not really sure if I want to put mine in football. I got to be honest because I do have a friend whose cousin took a severe injury, Little League football, and he eventually passed from his injuries, and that scared the heck out of me. I was always happy because my son used to play basketball. You could still get injured, but it's less injuries. That football, that contact sport, it really, really intimidates me. I wanted them to do like softball and stuff like that. But I don't know what time of the year they should sign up for these things. So I keep missing the deadlines. Something minutes. Okay, yeah, keep it short. You'll get more replays. People tap on it quicker and watch it. When it's long like mine, I mean, now I notice that I get a lot of replays, and I think it's because I'm constantly going live. But before, when I used to go live here and there, I didn't get a lot of replays. I think they're more familiar with me doing it now, and so they know that I do a lot of the more serious topics. So rather they make my live streams or not, I normally, if you go back and see them, you'll see the views are always still moving on mine because people tend to like the topics that I bring, so they will go back and give me a watch or a run. Lisette, I'm still waiting on you to go live. I see they say you should go live. Absolutely. Summer. Okay. So in the summer is when the sign-ups come out. Okay. Recording last season. One of the boys was scoring a touchdown. You were so excited you was recording the air. We missed it. I know that y'all were good for recording. Tell hubby to get out there. You remember when his ghetto butt got out there one day? He was like, I'll get y'all some footage, but I can't promise. I ain't gonna be like running all down. I'll get y'all what I can. I was dying, like, oh my God, the presentation. Your husband, I keep telling you, you got to get that man on that camera. He's gonna do amazing things for your channel. You know, we always acknowledge when we see somebody's husband or significant other. We want y'all to bring them in more. I know the guys don't really want to be in. I get Tony whenever I can. I believe he was in last night's upload. Just a little. But I made him come back and look at the camera and wave or something when we were about to go out. Sierra acknowledged that he was in there. I said, yeah, I had to get him in the frame somehow. For baseball, they have fall and spring. Oh, okay. You know, my boys are in something all year round. I expose them to all the sports as they get older. They can choose which one they... Okay. I basically want to do, like, baseball for now. TJ is always playing with a ball and getting himself in trouble. TJ will get yelled at all day, every day for throwing balls on my walls, ceilings, and stuff like that. I have to get him in something. And that's why I kept saying, well, I'm going to get him in softball. I'm going to get him in softball. You're going all this ball throwing and stuff. Oh, we going to get you. And my son wants them to play basketball because that's his sport. Got to catch him when he's in the mood. Okay. You don't want him to be all dry. Let him be all dry. It's the naturalness that makes me laugh. Let him. Yes, all dry is fine. We'll take it. Yeah, baseball is a good sport to start with, so I think we're going to go with that. We're definitely going to go with that. I need no contact. I ain't gonna lie, my oldest grandson, he's at a phase right now where he's getting like antisocial. Like, he don't really want to be on the camera too much. I'm not forcing him no more. And when he comes on, he all like dry, like you just say about hubby. And I'm like, listen, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But don't come over here like that and be acting like that, acting like you don't really want to be bothered. Because if I was the viewer, I wouldn't want to see it. And then when I do stuff with the little ones and kind of leave him where he is, because, you know, when they go through that awkward phase, you got to kind of leave them alone and let them come around when they want. Then I see him looking and it look like he want to get involved. So that's what I'm doing with him now. You're going to have to initiate it, because when we try to, he's that one kid, and I'm telling you, he was raised different. When we go left, he going right. If we go outside and the kid's like, oh, can we go to the park? It's nice out. It's hot. He always got to do the opposite of everybody. So I got to get him out of that negative mind frame. Another thing I noticed when we go to drive-thrus and say somebody get like the order wrong, he be like, they should get fired. I'm like, why do you all, and I noticed this is like the 4th time. So I said, why do you always think somebody should lose their job? Do you realize if somebody lose their job, they can't take care of their families, they can't take care of themselves, they possibly can't eat, and they'll be homeless? Well, they shouldn't. I said, no. You shouldn't even think like that. First of all, you're a child. You're 11 years old. You shouldn't even be talking about somebody losing their job. Like, that's just rude. But when you grew up in a house where they allowed you to be another adult and your mouth was in everything, because I'm still old school and be like, you see any other kids over here? Then you need to get on from over here up under grown folk conversation. I don't allow that. But I told y'all in the past with his other grandmom, he was allowed to do whatever. I remember times I used to call her and he would snatch the phone like, that's my grandmom. And I'll be like, give it back. Don't you ever take no phone out of her hand like that again. I'm the disciplinarian, so. And I'm still, when I say pulling back layers and trying to rebuild this kid the right way, it's in a lot of different areas of his life. But it's little things like that that really annoys me. Why be negative and want somebody to lose their job? You're 11. You shouldn't even think like that. So that's what I'm working on. And I know he probably think like I'm like a warden, but I have to get this stuff straight. I don't want him going through life being negative like that. That's not cool. Yeah, when hubby is dry, it throws your mood off. It messes up the flow of your video. Yeah. When he's in the mood is when he's funny. Well, he is funny, honey. He is funny. She said soccer's a good one also. Okay. That's true. And they love soccer. Because over at that park, there's a lot of Mexicans in our neighborhood. And they go and join right in. And those Mexicans are very, very friendly. They let them boys kick their ball. And they be teaching them little tricks and techniques. So, yeah, soccer's good too. You said your son is like that? Yeah, girl. He be annoying me. Mega love shout out to Team Happy. Josephine, welcome, Queen. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate having you. Okay, ladies, let's go ahead moving into the topic. So the topic is pregnancies and menopause. Because I feel like this is a woman issue. This is something that we've all experienced. Most, I can't say everybody's been pregnant. But you're, been connected to someone who has, if you have not. And Judith and I was talking, and, every conversation that I have turns into one of my live stream topics. So we were talking about abortions, and I know the laws have changed recently. So I'm just saying, go out in November and make it count. Because I feel like it's our bodies, it's our rights. But I have to put that disclaimer out there. Make it count in November. I don't want to give my opinion on that too much. Because I don't want YouTube to smack me on the wrist. But before we even get to the point of pregnancy, there is a such thing of abstinence, abstaining, which you don't see a lot of people doing anymore. I think people start abstaining once they get older and more mature. Because when you're younger, you're trying to get it in wherever you can. You sneaking all over the place trying to get it in. I don't understand that. When we're younger, it's the greatest thing to try to go and, be intimate with someone. And you do a lot of sneaking and getting caught and all that crazy stuff. And you take a lot of stupid chances when you're younger. Because you don't have the freedom to just do that. You don't have your own spot, especially when you're a young teenager. So you do it whenever you can, Also, when you get older, you notice a lot of people practicing celibacy. Again, it's a choice, and it's normally once you become more mature. But up until that point, there are such things called birth controls. A lot of people have a lot of different reasons as to why they don't like birth control. I don't get it, but, to each his own. There are male and female contraceptives available. We don't always take advantage of it. It seems like when you meet somebody and you decide you want to get serious with them, it's an automatic, no, we're not going to practice safe sex. And that makes absolutely no sense to me if you guys aren't going together to get tested. That's a practice of mine. A lot of guys, in the past didn't want to deal with me because I was requested that. But your body is your temple and you have to protect it at all costs, ladies. Eastad, welcome. My member is here, you guys. Let's welcome Eastad. Thank you so much for coming in, King. Appreciate having you. Now, I know you saw this topic. But I told you love to come in and make your presence known, and I appreciate it. You want to talk to us today about menopause? Let us know what you got, Eastad. You want to come up on the panel? I say he come up on the panel, y'all. He go live all the time. Eastad, the link is in the chat. You want me to send it down there again? Let's see what you got for today's topic. Come on in, sir. Let me drop it down there again for Eastad, y'all. I know he ain't coming up here. But you are more than welcome, sir. We are so happy to have you here. He is a part of the family now. He's the one brother to our sisterhood, ladies. She said, okay, number one member, he's that. Absolutely. Missy, he's speaking to you a long time. Exactly. Look at her. He's that. Look what you walked in on. Right, right. He down there laughing. Look at him. Yeah, protect that body at all costs. Absolutely. Absolutely. He said, nah, I just came to bust it up a little. Mm-hmm. So, some of us had freedoms as a child and not understand what the freedom was. I had two absent parents for different reasons for both, but I had two absent parents. So I had the freedom to move about the world, as they say now. I mean, I didn't do it like that because I wanted to protect me at all costs. I believed in, I believed in
Look at
people.
me say, you gonna stop acting like I'm afraid of you.
All right, Easthead, show her.
Come on. I ain't afraid of you. Come up here at all. Yes, ma'am. Your topic is menopause, and no, I don't want to participate in that. But I'm not afraid to come up on your panel. I will come up here. How you doing, though?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so
Oh,
much for
right.
blessing my ladies with your presence and letting them see who you are now. Now they have a face to go with it. I love this.
Oh, yeah. For me, even though it's kind of dark in this living room, maybe I should stand up and come into the light a little bit. I'm a mess right now. I just woke up and I came in here and just threw a hat on real quick and said, let me come in this live and say hello to y'all for a second.
Thank you so much. We appreciate having you here. You're always welcome. You stop through all the time. I'll always keep the link down there for you, okay?
Yeah, I'll always stop through. Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. I like the fact that you live in the same state I do, and I appreciate the fact that you have one hell of a head on your shoulders. So you're a very intelligent woman. I like that.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me coming from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely a thinker and a man who does like to keep himself surrounded by people who are like-minded. And, I really appreciate your insightfulness and the way you carry yourself. So that's why I come around.
I told you guys, Eastad really liked this chat because he makes sure he's come through and say hello. Even if he can't stay, he always pops in, and I love that. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate having you. My first member, guys. My first member.
Happy Labor Day to y'all, ladies, and all those who celebrate or don't celebrate. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go out to my sister and my brother-in-law's house, and I'm gonna have some of that barbecue that they're putting on their grill. Even though we don't really do the holiday thing, but I'm gonna enjoy this Monday, this day off, and I'm gonna go out in these streets. I'm about to do my shower and thing, and just enjoy the day. It's a pleasure to see y'all. I just hope everybody has a great day, and I'm gonna go ahead and step down. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. All right, much love and respect.
Thank you so much. Love and respect to you too, King. Enjoy your day.
You too, ladies.
Okay.
Thanks, Miss A. Peace.
Mm-hmm. Judith, if you want to finish, go ahead, sweetheart. What a treat, Eastad. So yeah, I was just saying that as a kid having freedom, it could go one or two ways. You going out there and bust it, to kill everything you could kill, moving and doing whatever you want to do, or you could not do that. And I really chose not to because in so many ways I could have been what they say thought definitely could have been me.
But I chose not. I wanted a different life. And I wanted a different life for my family and for my offspring. So I had, when you want different, you absolutely have to do different.
Okay, I was bidding East at a dude down in the chat. But when we were younger, we just be sneaking around doing when you think about it now in your older years, you was like, I can't believe I did that. Cause baby, I did some things. I even got caught. How many people in the chat got caught before? I'll tell you about my story. So crazy. Oh my God. It's funny too. I can't believe I'm about to share this story with y'all, but it was many a moons ago. She said, not Tatiana, Miss Judith. You can't tell already that this woman got some stories? Listen, they're about to start doing story time on building Ace Legacy. What I'm going to do as a reminder, when they're ready, because I'm trying to help them get it set up, because sometimes you go and you're ready to go live and YouTube won't let you because it's a process that needs to happen 24 to 48 hours. So I started walking them through it today so that when they're ready and they're scheduled to go live, they'll really go live. But I'm going to go live on my channel and at the end, I'll remind you, they're going live for a story time. Let's head over. Because I don't want anybody to miss it. So I'm going to make sure I got y'all right here in my live to send y'all over to their live. Yes, sweetie?
I saw Ty buy a Rainbow Friend.
What did he buy Rainbow Friends on?
On the computer, I just saw that.
My computer's right here.
Yeah.
But what did he buy it on?
He don't buy it right there. And I saw it right in the room by the other box, by the car. I tried.
Okay, thank you for telling me that. High five. Thank you for paying attention. What's that you got? Let me see that. I don't want you to get hurt. What is this from?
That's my phone. That's from the room when I got the phone.
Okay, be careful, okay? I see it is a part of a toy. Be careful with that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you, sir, for letting me know. You're the best. I got caught too. Oh, your mom lit you up? Absolutely. I didn't get caught until I was getting ready to move out. What, my now husband? Oh my God. Like 29. Oh, you ain't get caught. You was grown. And my parents were so upset. They was upset. Yeah, of course they didn't like him at first. He was dating their baby. I think they like him more than they like me. Listen, that's how I told y'all what my mom be like. What you do to Tony? You was 20 years old? Oh, well, that's a little different. You still was grown, but that's different. In their house? Oh, you Tatiana. Okay, so I got your back, Judith, on that one. I was in college, and I was dating this guy, and we went to school all day, and he asked me to come to his spot. So I went there. Now y'all ready for this? His mom, he lived with his mom and dad. But the mom had a best friend who was a man. And all day, every day, she was always out with this man. And so when he was there and he was trying, and I was like, no, I ain't doing that. Is you crazy? He was like, my mom not home. She out with Mr. G or whatever his name was. So it took a while. It took a good hour or two. And maybe if I would have went along with it sooner, we wouldn't have got caught, right? But it took a lot of convincing. And finally, I went up there with him. Because my son was with us. But my son finally went to sleep, too. So, went up there with him. We up there. Acting a fool. Y'all know what that means. Here come. I'm like, I hear something. He was like, there ain't nobody. I'm like, don't tell me I hear that. Oh, that's the neighbors. I said, that's in this house. I can hear the footsteps. So he like putting his hands on my mouth. And he's still, you know, when you're younger, rugrats. Child, he goes like, come on, let's finish. Didn't the light turn on? And a scream. It was his mom. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, get off me, get off me. When she screamed and like ran away from the room, I'm like, get off me. He's like, no, let's finish. And back it up. He was like, I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, mom. Look at me, y'all. I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, mom. Can you believe that? I'm sorry, mom. What you saying, Judith? I see your mom.
I said he had to finish. He had a goal to get to. Now that's a funny story. I got one too. So now I'm gonna give this little bit. Here I go again, right? So I'm 14, and my boyfriend is 24. Okay, as I said, I had freedoms that I shouldn't have had because of. Listen, my mom was out there. I had freedoms that I shouldn't have had. So, my funny story doesn't involve anybody coming in, walking in, none of that good stuff. It was simply a phone call. And a phone call that wasn't for me. Here, this joker thought he was taking advantage of a kid. He didn't understand that I was mature, way beyond my years. This sucker was calling my mom. Talking to my mom. He thought he had the game. He didn't know I created the game. So, needless to say, that joker got the boot by the kid. Literally and figuratively.
What the Parcheesi? Girl, you'll be having the most interesting. Listen, y'all see why I keep her up on my panel? I don't care what my topic is. She gonna bring the heat. She gonna bring some mess with it, okay? Oh my God. Go back. Not though, we went up there. Yes, girl, we went up there. Oh, I did stuff as a youngin', but I never got caught. I was sneaky. Yeah, you was pretty sneaky if you ain't get caught, child. Sorry, not sorry. Absolutely. Sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. But he ain't stopped. Sorry, mom. Sorry, mom. I'm like, oh, you know he was the only child doing some foolishness like that, right? Judith, they love you. Judith was out here. Precious, welcome, queen. Thank you for coming in, Niecy Poo. Appreciate having you. You see the topic. Pregnancy and menopause. Girl, we all over the place with it. Hey, everyone, gotta go get ready for the day. Okay, Missy, thank you so much. I'm not grilling today, but I'm going to find a relative that is. I know that's right. Have a blessed day, Missy. Thank you so much. Big reading positive. Okay, girl, I was just in here telling them how I was caught. You gonna catch the replay on that one, yes. And go back and watch the beginning for that one, Precious, and get you a good laugh. Yes, I need you guys to back up. TJ, go over there. Everybody telling how they was some little hot tails, Tatianas. That's what they called you, the Tatiana. When it seems like Miss Deandra in the chat, our family, our journey. It can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, listen. He couldn't stop, honey. He had it. You know how it is. Once you get started, you got to see that thing through, or you gonna walk around messed up for the rest of the day, jacked up like a third leg. You know how that go for them. That was funny. Ovulation, ladies. A lot of people, and I'm talking about grown women, don't know when they're ovulating, and your body tells you things. There are signals that your body sends, like it sends it to the brain. And that's why that whole menopause thing be all jacked up, because these signals from your body is going to your brain. Sometimes it tells the body that you're cold. I mean, it tells your brain that you're cold. And that's why we tend to heat up and have the hot flashes when we're going through menopause, because it's mixed signals. The signals are all screwed up. I had to learn that because I couldn't understand all this flashing. and your sleep pattern is messed up again. Ty, you're too loud, baby. Sleep pattern is messed up again, like when you were a child. Because I go through it. Nights when I'm not working, I'm still up all night, wired, looking at the ceiling. Just can't sleep. Sometimes I get out the bed and start doing laundry, cleaning bathrooms, just extra chores because I cannot sleep. I'm going through YouTube. I'm watching Instagram. If anybody that's in my groups and stuff, you notice I'm in there in the middle of the night. I'll be sending you messages or responding to people in the middle of the night. I know you're asleep, but you'll get it the next day. But see, that's when I'm up. I'm all screwed up. I have been going through it about 10 years now. I started really early. And my doctor was like, I got news for you. It's not over. You're only in the second part of it. So some ladies get it a very long time, and some ladies get it a short period, and some ladies hardly ever see menopause. But ovulation, your body lets you know when you're ovulating. There are things that you can track it. On my smartwatch, remember, I can track it. On your cell phones, if you are a person where you write everything down, you can track it yourself, especially if you have like that 28-day cycle. Yeah, I track everything. You should get in the habit of tracking that kind of stuff. So you can, sometimes you're in a nasty mood and you don't even realize it's aligning up with your menstrual. Still here cleaning your bathroom. Okay, Lisette, thank you so much. I was sneaky until I got pregnant with my son at 18. Oh my God. Girl, listen. Bet you ain't nobody have to tell you to slow down then. Y'all a mess. I should not have been listening in the middle of a headstand. I fell to the ground. Listen, be careful, sissy. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Oh my God. You shouldn't have did no headstand while you listening to us, honey. Because you will be all disheveled when we finish with you. Especially Judith. She got a way of knocking everybody off their feet. Like, she said, oh man, I gotta go, ladies. Oh, hubby just came back with a U-Haul van. Wow. Fall cleaning, absolutely. I don't want to say enjoy your day because that's not fun, but I hope you get the space back that you needed in your home. Love you too, sissy. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate having you. Enjoy your Labor Day, ladies. Yeah, but there are ways that you can track ovulation, because I'm telling you, I was one of them walking around when I was younger. I never really realized when I was ovulating. I don't know if the symptoms wasn't strong enough back then, so I wasn't picking up on it. It took for me to start doing like the period trackers and stuff like that in my electronic devices. And once I did that, and I was looking, like, the forecast was telling me what was going to happen, and I started paying attention, like, okay. Like, you even know when is a period of time that's safe or not safe. You guys got to take advantage of that. Yes, I track mine as well. You have to, especially if you don't want no more babies. I wasn't really fast as a young girl. Once I did have sex, I ended up pregnant. Oh, my God, not too long after. Now I'm 4 kids in at 29. That's not a bad thing, precious. That's not a bad thing. You got your little girl, so you're probably done. Unless you get married and your significant other wants to have more children. And then it's a conscious decision at that point for you and him. But you know, you have some young girls that has a lot of children, can barely take care of them, refuse to take care of them, not even trying to get the means to take care of them. They rather just use the system. It's sad. It's sad. When you're having them and you're taking care of them, there's nothing nobody should be able to say. If anything, don't criticize, you help me. That's not a bad thing. 29 with 4 kids, yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing. What she say? I'm the same as you, Pig. Mm-hmm. She's like, really? Almost 29. Wow, y'all babies. She said, I'm done. He would have to accept that. You sorry? Well, adoption is always an option. Keep that in mind. See what Sierra said? That's not bad. She want one more. That's common. 3 to 4 at y'all age. And then you kind of, like, if you're done, you're done. That's great. You could be 10 and 11 and 12 in because, what's the girl name? Strong Mommy Chrissy? She's just, yes.
I have one child. I wanted more. I even looked into fostering, but I wasn't going to have more and not be married. That doesn't necessarily mean that the dad was going to be, power dad, taking care of his family, whatever. But that's just how I wanted it and how I seen it. So I let her know early on, you won't have brothers or sisters if mommy's not married. So then it became, I want a brother, I want a sister. Well, how come you don't have one? Because you're not married. She understood. It was drilled in, kind of, sort of, but she understood. But yeah, I wanted a big family. I wanted 7 children. I wanted 7.
I thought I was the only one that wanted this big, grand, 10 children family. And you see what I got, 1 son. But that's okay, because I got my babies now. Just feel bad because my kids are almost 7 in 2 weeks and 11 in 2 months. That's okay. That's a beautiful thing. Why you feel bad about that? Because you put a little space in between it, girl. That's great. If you decide to have another one, they're gonna be great big brothers and big sisters. They're gonna help you out a lot. Scared to foster because I love her and wouldn't want them to leave or anything to happen to them. Exactly. They say don't get attached, but how could you not? You're human. That's emotions. That's normal. 4 C-sections though, so my last doctor scared me about keep having more babies. They say that because a lot of people have to have like blood transfusions and stuff like that. I believe that's what happened with the kid's mom. And they were warning her too, but she still had 2 more after that, so it's a personal thing. You're gonna make a decision to do something because a lot of doctors tell a lot of parents things and they're scared to get pregnant, and then they end up pregnant, and then guess what? They pray on it and they see that pregnancy through. And not all times do it end up the way the doctors say, because I always tell people there's one main doctor that has to make the ultimate decision, and it's not normally the one in the room with you. Also want to adopt. A long explanation on that. And you're not emotional. Listen, it's a lot to adoptions. We can talk about that as one of my topics because a lot of people really don't know what to expect in terms of an adoption. It's not an easy process. It takes a few years. Unless everything was already done beforehand and then you look into adoption and you go into what they have as a database. And it's so sad, but it's like, to me, it's almost similar to like an auction. Like you choose the child, you bid on the child that you want. It's so sad, the process of it all. But you'll be amazed with how many children are living in the U.S. alone that needs to be adopted. Now go ahead and add on the other children in the other countries that need to be adopted. It's very sad. wanted 10, and here I am with 4, then you're okay with that? You sound like me, and I just said it either yesterday or the day before my live stream. I wanted 10. I only had 1. And then I started getting my babies vicariously through my son. And I'm like, here I am with 4 grandsons, and I'm okay. I'm okay with 4. 4 is enough. Because my son keep like, but you ain't never get that granddaughter. I'm good. Don't even try. No guarantees. Everybody after Kha'yair you thought was going to be that granddaughter. Don't try no more. It's not on your side. It's not looking good for you. My mom has 8 brothers and sisters, and I love having all the aunts and uncles and cousins. Me too. So my mom only had the 3 daughters. All of my aunties and uncles had a large amount of children. So I have a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles. Yeah. And our family is really close knit. So I take them all as extra brothers and sisters and close cousins and stuff like that. And my mom was a change of life baby, so she is younger than a lot of her nieces and nephews. So it's crazy because her sisters were already adults and married and having kids, and then my grandma had my mom. So it's a lot. It's a lot that goes with that. Tyjon, stop making all that noise, sir. Life with Sarah. Welcome, Queen. Congratulations on your baby. I want a big family. I'm 26 with 3 kids, ages 3 and under. I'm trying to create the family I wish I had. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Sarah she has a newborn, guys. You got to go check out her channel. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so happy for you. She's perfect. Thank you so much for coming in, Sarah. Appreciate having you. Yes, God has the final say for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have plans for our lives, and sometimes they take a twist or turn. Ultimately, you do have the final say in a lot of decisions. However, things don't always go the way we map them out on paper. So you always should have like a plan B. Or when you find yourself in different situations, then you have to alter your way of thinking, change your mindset, and go with the flow of what's going on, what's presented in front of you, and alter. Like, obviously, whatever you had planned before is no longer an option, so you got to do things differently. I thought I couldn't have kids. The doctor told me that there is nothing wrong with me, just the men, so... down south and got 4 babies. Wow, are you serious? Wow. See? They don't always know. I mean, they are trained and they go by what they know, what they're taught. But every situation is not the same, and you're going to get different outcomes. And sometimes they're spot on. But then there's going to be some times that even the doctors are like, oh, I'm surprised. Like, I did not know. Sometimes they even say that, like, this can go one or two ways because they don't really know 100%. Judith, can you do this for a minute? Let me check on my babies, okay?
Yeah, I was told also that I have I was told I would have difficulties having children, and no one really explained it until after I had Lacey. And the doctor explained that my cervix is tilted, and the way that it's tilted, it would be hard. It's harder to conceive. So, I mean, it kind of explains because I know exactly when I got pregnant. It was my birthday, and it was a wild night, so I understand. But so that was a little discouraging. I was happy because it was definitely a blessing because I thought that I wasn't going to be able to have any children. So that was a blessing that I did. But like I said, I wanted 7. So, I mean, and things turn out the way that they're supposed to. She wants kind of a big family also, I believe, between 4 and 6. She wants, so we'll see. Um, I think, and she pretty much. I seen someone in the chat saying, I think Sarah, life with Sarah, that she's building the family that she wants. She loves family. She loves, game night and that kind of thing, and we have family. I don't want to say we don't have family. We have family. It's just not. It's not the way it should be, and for many different reasons, it's not the way that it should be. Um, and so she creating her own tribe, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Now that menopause piece she talking about, I don't think that I have hot flashes and all that good stuff like regular menopause. I um I have the only time I really be heated up is when I'm sleeping. I be extremely hot. So I'm like air conditioner all year long for me because I definitely heat up at bedtime. And right now it's by myself. So get your mind out the gutter, ladies. I said the only time I heat up, I don't feel like that I'm going through menopause. I'm 51. I said but I get overheated overnight. When I go to bed, I'm overheated, and I know that has to be part of it. So I said for me, it's like air conditioning all year long.
Listen, I know y'all see in every single one of my uploads, I have a box fan. I still use my box fans because we have central air. It's not enough. I have those. I'm like, I can't afford to buy 50 million of those fans with the remote control and all that and switch over to the heaters because we have central air, central heat. So I don't need all that. But I need these fans. If y'all notice, you're going to see my fan in every upload. I have the oscillating fan up in my room because I always need that extra air. I be going through it. Again, I'm 10 years in. And my doctor was like, I got news for you. You're only in the second phase. That's crazy. Because my mother never experienced any menopause. Her mother never experienced any menopause. Sometimes it happens. Me, I'm going through it. And I'm the youngest of 3 girls. My older sisters don't go through it like me. I got it rough. And I'm thinking it's because I started my monthly earlier too than any of them. And I've always had it very rough with my monthly as far as the cramping and fatigue and always needing some type of medication to calm those cramps. So right now I rely on black cohosh and evening primrose to calm down some of the menopausal symptoms like the hot flashes and the night sweats, that staring at the ceiling I was telling you guys about. I experience a lot of tenderness in the breast like when you are pregnant. Inconsistent cycles. Can't zoom in on them. Don't know if it's going to be a heavy one. Don't know if it's going to be light. Don't know if it's going to be a skip. Just all over the place. I'm relying on a heating pad. I have one that I keep right on the side of my bed at all times. Because even though I follow that tracker, it's not always 100% accurate. That heating pad needs to be at accessible to me at all times because it kind of helps it calm down a bit. It doesn't take it away, but it makes it comfortable in the fact that I can at least drift off to sleep because I normally lie down when I use that or recline. Drinking a lot of teas. Teas have become my best friend. Chamomile, because with that and the heating pad, I really like those off. Even though I'm in pain and even though my thighs are aching, that's a new symptom that I picked up in the past like 4 or 5 years. My thighs started aching. I never used to have that before. My hair was sweating a lot. That started since the beginning. That should have been my very first sign. I used to always be sweating down my neck, always. If you guys notice, even if I'm just cleaning and walking around the house, I have some type of scarf or something around my head because I sweat a lot. And those little, I call them rags, they catch the sweat, and I change them out like sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a day, depending on how much activity I'm doing, because I sweat so much. And I always have to have one of those at least whenever I tie my hair up, because again, it protects my edges, but it also catches sweat for me too, especially when I go out in the community. Which is the reason why I eventually locked my hair. I was a loose natural, but eventually I went on and locked my hair because it was, even though I was a loose natural, I had to wash my hair almost 3 times a week. And I was going through a lot of product. And you guys know that product is expensive. Carol's Daughter and all that, it's expensive. Even when you're using, what's that, the Shea Moisture, all of that stuff, it adds up with those curl enhancing smoothies and stuff like that. So, and it was a lot of work doing the two-strand twist all the time just to get a nice curly look. So I went on and locked, which was probably the best decision I made. I was having a lot of mood swings and sometimes even behavioral outbursts, like just tripping. And when I noticed I was doing that, I tend to isolate myself. That's the days I'll ask hubby to bring it in so I can go do like retail therapy and kind of walk those cramps out. I just want to be alone because I'm snappy and I don't want to bite nobody's head off and they didn't do anything wrong. It's a bad feeling. And you know you're doing this when you're in the act of doing it. But because you're going through so many different emotions and it's all hormonal, you tend to think about it later, and then you have to go apologize to people for that type of behavior. And it's not fair. I believe in saving stuff for who it's for, and that don't belong anywhere. So I normally, even if I don't go out, I'll ask him to come in, and I'll just go in my room and lock myself in the room, and he'll look after the kids. I just need that time to just lay in the bed and just suffer, because that's basically all I'm doing. But it's better than being around people and being on edge and yelling at people and snapping. And you can't expect everybody to understand that, what you're going through. Those mood changes it's ridiculous. And I could be happy and doing something real good 1 minute, and then all of a sudden I just snap. It's uncontrollable. But what I do notice on the market is something called menstrual relief. And it's just a pill. Rite Aid carry them. I notice CVS and Walgreens have their version. It's an off-brand. It's normally the store's name, and it says menstrual relief. Out of everything I tried on the market and all the things that I had prescribed by my OBGYN, that seems to help me the most and calm it down. The only thing is there's 65 milligrams of caffeine in those pills. So I have to be mindful when I use them that I cannot drink coffee or sodas, because putting that caffeine on top of the other caffeine, oh my God. I always saw on the pill bottles excitability, and I never understood what that meant until I accidentally took those pills. And I took it with a Pepsi the very first time I ever, because I was driving and I was in so much pain, menstrual cramp, and I pulled into the CVS and I grabbed that bottle and I grabbed the Pepsi and called myself taking it right away. Baby, about 5 minutes up the road, I had to pull over into this parking lot and call my sister, like, can you come get me? When I tell you, my heart was just like going. And I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? And this was like maybe 4:30 in the evening. Do you know that never really calmed down for me until like the next morning, like 6 in the morning was when I realized I wasn't going through that. Because even when I went home, I was shaking. Even in the bed, I was just like shaking. Like it felt like I had body aches and chills. I'm getting extra blankets and putting the layers on me, and I'm still shaking. And I turned my little heater on, and I'm still shaking. It was the excitability. So now I know exactly what that feels like. Tremors, not a good feeling. I could imagine that's what it feels like to be like on drugs. There is another medication that a doctor prescribed to me before. It's a cold med. It's called Brumfed. I don't know the other name, but Brumfed. I'll never forget it. Why? Because it made me feel just like that. And I had them put that on my chart. Do not ever make a mistake and give me Brumfed. So it's all over my charts now. Just like the fact that I have severe allergies, and they know to have on my charts that I'm allergic to shellfish, iodine. They know. Don't, because I remember having a pair of glasses, and I kept breaking out right here, and it was something that was going on in the metal that kept breaking me out and giving me these blisters. So I have to be very careful. When it's the same thing that's like in iodine, they said. So I have to be careful with stuff like that. But we have to know our bodies, all the way around. It's unfortunate, and I know you younger women that's in the chat may have never experienced anything with menopause, but I'm telling you, baby, it's something to get ready for. And I see now they got those little fans that you put around your neck and to keep you cool. Baby, I'm about to invest in one. I'm about to invest in one. I see people getting sponsored in their videos. Hello, out there in sponsor world. If you have one of those neck fans, please bring it to Grandma Does It All. I am a grandma, and I'm going through menopause. You know, you got to talk these things to existence, okay? Please send me one of those fans to advertise on my channel. I don't beg for much, but I want one of them. I have to find out where I can get it from. But I'm thinking about investing in one of those. Just like yesterday, I told Sierra I want one of those bento boxes, just because she advertised it in her upload the other day, and she knocked that group collab out the ballpark. And I don't pack lunches for my babies, but I'm going to invest in them, and I'm going to make a reason to pack lunches for my babies because I need one of them. I need one of them. So, Judith, do you experience any type of like menopause?
No, I as I said, the only thing I experience is overnight I'm overheated. But other than that, no. I thank God. I thank God.
I went through all the symptoms that I just told you, but I've seen people go through it so severe. I had a family member, very elder family member. God rest her soul, she passed on. But I remember when she was going through it, she boarded up all the windows on her home and locked that door and put things across it. And you know, back then you would slide things across your door as like the extra lock. She wouldn't let people access her. They would go over to the house banging on the door trying to check on her, but she isolated herself. Like I isolate, like hubby come get them, let me go in the room. She completely locked everybody out. It was mental, it was hormonal, and this is what she did.
I just think, like you saying, an older woman, I just think that mental health wasn't properly dealt with back in the day. Cause my grandmother was what they call them. She didn't go outside. She would only go outside to see her PCP, and that was at this time it's like once a year she's going to the PCP. So she never went outside. So it, I think just back in the day that mental health wasn't, it's still not being dealt with the way that it needs to be dealt with. But mental health played a huge part in menopause for women because of our hormones. It's just a touch, a breast of everything, and it is not properly being dealt with, and it probably never will unless we educate ourselves and get up on what we need to get up on. It's horrible. It's sad, because we carry the nations. Everything on this earth comes through a woman. Every being. So, and we're not properly taken care of. And when we don't understand that, it's sad. It's very sad.
That is so true. Every being on this earth has come through a woman. Our bodies take a beating from our younger years all the way to our older years. It's true. Which is why, I don't understand people that work in nursing facilities and stuff, how they don't take a genuine interest in making sure that these elderly women are bathed properly and stuff like that, because they get frustrated. Like, she pissing herself. Do you know what her bladder went through? How could she not? How could she not have accidents? You get one. Our bodies, our temples, we house humans. How could we not fall apart when we get older? And when I see women that still, older than us, more seasoned, and they're still out there exercising and they're dieting and they're keeping themselves together. When you see somebody like Patti LaBelle and how good she looked at her age, Dionne Warwick, how good they look great. They're to be commended. They're to be commended. Because you have younger women who made poor choices that's walking around looking older. In the face, body torn up, made poor decisions by using drugs or just out there in the street giving themselves away. But then you have these queens that took care of their temple. And they look amazing. You know what they say. Black don't crack. We do. If you take care of yourself, take care of your body, we can look like that too. My mother looks damn good for her age. A lot of my family members say to my mom, "What are you, aging backwards?" That's beautiful to me, because that gives me hope that as I get older, I'm going to still look youthful. Which is why I try to keep up with my young grandsons. I try to keep up with them. They're tickled because, so the other day I was running up the steps. This was before I got sick though. Literally running up the steps, and they thought that was like, "Ma, you was running up the steps?" Like, that was a big deal to them, because I'm always normally walking and carrying stuff. But this day I just ran up the steps, and Kha'yair thought it was TJ or somebody coming to chase him, and I was like, "That's me," and they was laughing. And I'm like, "Y'all think I'm old?" They really do. They really do. Ty asked me a question the other day, and I answered when I was a kid. He was like, "You was a kid?" I tell y'all, these babies can make us feel so old. So old. They funny too. They strike up conversations with me that comes from nowhere. Listen, mommies. When these kids get to 7, 8 years old, those conversations get more and more interesting. Tyjon is funny at 5. When he say words the wrong way, now he's walking around no, that's us stuff. He don't know how to say our, separated. Yeah. So I get tickled with the way he talks to me and use his words wrong there. And I told you, I use everything as a teachable moment. So I'm always correcting him and showing him the right way to say it. But with the other kids, it's more the questions that they ask. And oh my God, I have the funniest conversations with these kids, and they come from nowhere. So you always gotta be thinking and ready, because trust me, if it comes to their mind, it's coming out their mouth. Child, they be asking me stuff, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, where does boy get this from?" And sometimes it be so funny, but I don't want them to know that I think it's funny. So I'll go in a bathroom or something, and I'll be cracking up no, he didn't just say that. Sometimes I listen to the conversations that they're having amongst one another. One of them will say something that the other one call themselves correcting them and be dead wrong. Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be the funny stuff. Those kids get on their nerves, but let me tell you something. I wouldn't change it for a thing. I love being a grandmom, which they call mom, but hopefully they're going to get it more sooner than later. I love it. Yes, it's definitely sad. We have to research and advocate for ourselves. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've gone through a lot with menopause, and so I was forced to seek my own knowledge. And the fact that I work in case management and have a lot of friends that are RNs and LPNs and stuff like that, and you sit and you plant yourself in the presence of like-minded people, and so you feed off of them, you learn from them. And I learn a lot. And then I love that my husband is from Nigeria, so when I'm talking to his sister, because she does speak English, and she gives me a lot of their like home remedies and stuff like that they use, not necessarily the same things that we use. And I come from the South, and we're very similar, but it's some things they do that we don't do or never heard of, and I try it and it works. My boys love it when I chase them. They always say, "You're a fast mama." Exactly. That's why I want to work on my health and take care of my body so I can get out there with them. Right. Yeah, the boys be funny. Listen, you can have fun with them kids. And they are the most honest people. You are so right. Because, baby, they'll hurt your feelings in a minute. But it's not maliciously done. So you got to just accept it. And they're the most unfiltered. Ain't nothing about them diluted down. Okay? I remember I used to do stuff like that. But I used to get popped in the mouth. I don't pop my babies in the mouth. I let them be their little selves. If they say something that's inappropriate, I correct them. And I explain to them why it's inappropriate. Because I remember the way when we was coming up, we didn't get the explanation. So what's the chances of us not doing it again? A lot of times I got chastised and I didn't even really know what I was getting chastised for. Nobody took the time to explain anything. They was like, "Get your little fresh behind out of here." But what did I do? You got to tell me what I did so I can know not to do that anymore. So that's why, like, even with like beating children, I don't believe in that. Talk to them. Just like I don't want nobody putting their hands on me, I don't want to put my hands on them. It's a level of respect. Talk to them. Because that's what we were missing coming up. Nobody sat down and explained things to you. They always was like, "Get your fresh tail out of here. You're mannish. You're grown. You're this." We heard all those expressions, but we didn't know exactly what we were doing wrong. Yeah, I think you'll make a great relationship with your children and your grandchildren when you talk to them and explain things to them. TJ is the one that I tend to use to plant the seeds with, because TJ is going to execute some things. See, I know all their strong suits, so I know when it comes to if I teach TJ something, like something as simple as they didn't understand safety. Where we live, and you go outside down the steps, you're right into the parking lot. And I have to tell them, this is a parking lot is equivalent to a street. People are turning in, people are coming out. So I always told TJ, you the big brother here. This was before Kha'yair came. You the big brother here. You got to help me be responsible for your two little brothers. You got to grab their hands. You have to look both ways. Make sure it's safe before we all cross that street. Child, to this day, TJ is the crossing guard. I put him in charge of that one day, and it's been his job. And it's been now about 3 years. He be out there doing like this to the traffic, like, wait a minute, like, come on, y'all, come on. And I'm like, TJ, you ain't no crossing guard. This is our little joke every time we go in and out, because TJ gonna be the crossing guard. But it's a good thing because I instill safety in him. So now I hear him, anything I teach him, he goes and teach the others. And it works for me because I know, plant the seed with TJ and it's gonna grow. It's gonna keep growing. Everything I teach him throughout the house, if I'm doing laundry and I'm like, okay, just hygiene, So now they're getting more and more independent with hygiene. So I still physically shower those 3 boys, or sometimes if they want a bath, I give them a bleach bath, but shower, and same thing as a bath. But when it's time to get out, we do everything in order. So Tyjon is the first one I take out, and while I have him up on the sink and I'm drying him down and lotioning him up and doing everything I need to do, Ty get his towel, he's next to come out, and he dries off. TJ walks him through everything, because I taught TJ first. I said, listen, you're the oldest of these 3. Dry your body off. And I say to him, if your body's still, if you feel cold, that means you're still wet. So he taught that to Ty. He taught Ty. And then I said, once you are completely dry, you'll feel warm all over. That's when you lotion up your whole body. So he's doing that. Then he'll put his, clothes and underwear and stuff on. And then, before the shirt, he knows deodorant goes on first. So he'll do that. So now he's teaching Ty. So I'm like, Ty, you need to be a big boy. I need you to be a little more independent. So now when I'm in there, I don't have to worry about getting those 2 out and getting them situated, because everything is laid out. I tell y'all, I do everything in a system here so that everybody can adapt. And so everything is laid out. When I'm putting out pajamas, they know exactly where their pajamas are. So when they get out, they know where theirs are. And they go through the routine. And I hear TJ reminding Ty, because Ty can get a little off. He want to, what they watching in the room? Don't worry about that. Focus on this. Ty wants to go ahead of the game. And Tyjon is the one that, because I start him first and he finish first, he'll go collect the slippers and bring everybody their slippers. So we have a whole routine. But I hear TJ like, what do you do next, Ty? He over there quizzing him. Okay, Ty, did your body feel cold? No, I'm warm all over. Okay, what do you do next, Ty? Cream? Lotion, Ty. I say it's the same thing, TJ. TJ don't cut him no slack. You got to say the right words for TJ. So they do that, and then they be like, Dalu, you want me help this boy brush his teeth? Like, so now he think he's the little father hen. So I love that. Again, I plant seeds with TJ because I know it's going to grow. With Kha'yair, I use him as my discipline piece. So he's constantly reminding him that if you do that, you're only going to get yourself in trouble. So I hear him down there chastising the other boys like, why would you do that, TJ? You know if you do that, she going to make us. And he's putting it in his head like, you got to do this, or because if you do that, then she's going to make us turn it off. Or, he's telling them the consequences of it all. So I love it. Kha'yair is my little one that helps me do all the chores around the house. Y'all see him mostly in the videos, helping me do laundry, helping me polish and dust, helping me do, if I'm shampooing carpets, he right there want to hold the machine. Whatever I'm doing, he want to be a part of it. Tyjon, that's my little menace to society. I don't care what's going on. He's somewhere causing corruption somewhere. He can be helpful if I keep him right with me. Oh, but he gonna go through this house on all 3 levels and cause havoc. If somebody chase him from the lower level, he going to the next level to create problems. When they get fed up with him over there and send him up to me, he gonna come up here and create problems. He just Curious George. He's going to always go through this place, and he's always going to create havoc. That's why I need him in school. And I explain this to a lot of parents. It's not that the kids are bad. They're busy and they're bored. And that's why they tend to get into things, because they have nothing to do to occupy their time. As many electronics as we have here, as many TVs that we have that he can watch. They even have 2 in their bedroom. Y'all see that? My room, the living room. We even have an extra one in the closet I can pull out. I always stay 1 TV ahead. This boy gonna have some problems going on somewhere. So I have to always think like, what can I lay out today that's gonna intrigue him? So sometimes I pull out the crayons and the coloring books. Sometimes I pull out little card game, flashcards and stuff like that. I'm just always pulling out different things that may pique his interest to keep him busy throughout the day, or else we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. So they look at me like the fun grandma, but it's simply I try to keep them busy. And if I have absolutely nothing that interests them, then we're going out to the park. And I don't mind going to the park every day. Let them get out and run, burn off that energy, because it makes for an easier night when I do my PM hygiene and put them in the bed. It's going to be just a little while before they fall off to sleep. ladies, you got to try some of these techniques. Judith, is there anything else you want to add, sweetheart?
No, this was pretty good. Did we talk about? We only touched on the abortion piece a little bit. Yeah. But what are your feelings, lady, on abortions? You for abortions? You against abortions? Personally, I think it's up to the person because there are different circumstances, and again, sometimes you think with so many people not able to have children that abortions is a little selfish, but we don't know the circumstances in which the woman got pregnant, and unfortunately, sometimes it's rape, even by abusers who are within their families or however, whatever. So there are reasons that is very understandable that people choose to have abortions. And we have, again, that those are things that as a friend, as a sister, cousin, whatever, you have to support people in their decisions. Now, for that frivolous, what y'all call the Tatiana? For that frivolous Tatiana, now that's one that sit her down in that chair and have that intervention. Like, I'm not understanding, sister, what's going on here. But yeah, we have to be, open and mindful of things and people feelings, and trust that what they're doing is the right thing to do.
Yeah, because before we got on this chat, Judith and I was busting it up a little bit, and we were just talking about abortions and how, like, years ago, people were using it as a form of birth control. They were abusing it. I can see it if an individual was raped. You have people that feel differently. They feel like even if you were raped, you should keep it because it's not an accident if God allowed it to happen. I've had people say that to me. But I think in that instance, it's a personal choice because to keep that baby is mental. Just think about the movie Color Purple. When that man was sleeping with those kids in the beginning and she was pregnant. If she had a choice, she wouldn't have kept those babies. She didn't have a choice. She was looking for those babies because she knew they was hers and they were taken right out of her arms. But had she had a choice back then, I don't think she would have kept those babies. The same thing with any woman who is being taken advantage of sexually. I don't think that 100% would keep that baby. There are some, because I've known cases of it, but I don't think that is a normal practice. But I do remember, like, in the 90s, I have friends who had several abortions in 1 year. I knew one girl that had 3 in 1 year because it was easy to do it back then. There were certain locations that we knew of, and even back in the 90s for us in Jersey, if you didn't go over into Philadelphia because you knew where they were, I'm talking about South Jersey, there was one location in Cherry Hill that everybody knew about. You had your little Medicaid card, you can go, but you still had to have, if you were a minor, an adult. But there was a place that people used to travel to all the way up in North Jersey to go have this procedure done. And their rules were just a bit more relaxed. You didn't necessarily have to have an adult with you. If you came and you had a Medicaid card and it was in your name, they were going to perform it. They were going to do it. As time went on, I learned about a few more locations that they brought in South Jersey, so we didn't have to travel up north, to go have those things done. But I do know a young lady who had several, and with her same Medicaid. It was when they started cracking down and they started putting like a number, a cap on how many you can have. Then people figured out a way to use other people's Medicaid. And they would exchange ID. They would get somebody that kind of looked like them. And they would switch information and use their Medicaid and their ID, and they would go get it under their name. They were abusing it. And then it became where people picketing outside those places became a thing. There's still a location here, like I said, in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where if you ride by, those people, those protesters out there are serious. They be out there playing audio of babies crying and stuff as you go in and out. They make it really hard for someone to go in those facilities. Some people are like, forget that. I know I can't take care of it. I'm going in. But some people are caught up with it because they're coming up to you with those signs, and it's really dramatic. And some people change their mind. I had a friend that went in to have it done. So she went in for, your first appointment is to go in there to actually find out, because you can go get free pregnancy tests. You go in to find out if you're pregnant, and they'll start like giving you, offering you like counseling services and stuff like that. If you're on the fence or whatever. But once she went in and found out, well, she didn't know then. So she set up to have it done. She was adamant, like, yes, I'm definitely going to have it done. But when she went back on her scheduled appointment, because they make you wait till you're like 9 weeks before they touch you, because if they touch you before then, and I didn't know this, I went to be her driver. So I was reading over the documentation, and I learned that there's such thing called a miss, meaning you can go through the whole procedure of having an abortion, and you could still be pregnant when it's all said and done because they missed it. And so guess what? You got to go through it all over again, price-wise and everything. No discount. You got to pay all over. And it's not even your fault. It's the doctor's fault because he missed it. But when I went back with her, and so, of course, you're in a waiting room, and they take her back to do the lab work and all that kind of stuff. And she had to come back in the waiting room. So I'm reading over the documents, and that's how I learned about that miss. But when they called her back again, they explained to her that she was pregnant with twins. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. So we walked out, and she kept her babies. Different things. I remember when I was in there, at that same visit, there was this family had came over from Philadelphia, and it was a woman, an older gentleman, and the girl that was pregnant, a teenage girl. I'm telling y'all, this girl was damn near full term. That belly was big and hard. It even looked dropped to me somewhat. It wasn't as high as it probably should have been. So she was near the end. And I was like, who is here? Because I was hoping it wasn't that girl with that belly. And I was being nosy. I was watching. Well, it was her. When they kept calling the name, the mom and her kept going back there. So I'm like, please tell me it's not that pregnant girl. And it eventually was her, because the mom came out and they went on and took her in the back and they performed that. And I was like, can I tell y'all how sick I was to my stomach that a doctor would even touch her? But they do it. They do it. They're greedy.
I actually have a cousin that went and got an abortion, and she was like 7 months. She told them she was raped. Right. So that's why they performed it. But at that point, that's horrible. That is horrible. You're 7 months pregnant and going to do something like that. I think it is very disgusting. At that point, like, adoption should have been the choice. you could give that baby up for adoption. There are families that will love on that baby the way the baby need to be, and at that point, it's a baby. They call them pods, whatever y'all want to call them. At that point, it's a baby. And like you were saying back in the day, I have 4 younger brothers with my mother. If it wasn't for those Medicaid cards and clinics she could go to, and all the aunts and nieces and sisters and cousins she had, it would probably be about 15 of us. Yes. She used that system. Now, that was one thing I paid attention to that they couldn't hide from us. She was using that system, taking them cards and going. She was a different person every day, going to the clinic, getting an abortion. And that's what it seemed like to me. It was every other day. It was probably a few months in between. But to me, it seemed like every other day she was going to get an abortion in somebody else's name.
You know what? You probably just answered something for me. I'm going to start from the beginning. When you said that they said it was a rape. Because I was wondering, why would that doctor in all these years, when I think back to that, I'm still wondering, like, why would that doctor touch her? But you know what? That's probably what they said. All I remember is when the mom finally came out and they took the girl back to do it, the screaming from being in such excruciating pain. I couldn't stay in the facility anymore. I had to get up and go outside because I could not believe. That's when it was confirmation that, I knew because the woman came back out, but that's when it was confirmation that it was going down back there. The way that girl was screaming, she may as well had that baby. She may as well push that baby out because, like you said, it was a full-blown baby.
So that we're clear, she did push that baby out. They terminate the baby inside of you, and you have to go through labor and push it out.
That is horrible. I thought it was that whole vacuum suck thing. But that girl, is it because she was so far along that she had to put? Yeah. It's a full-term baby. Listen, if you miscarry and you pass 4 months, they make you have a funeral service. So isn't that a full baby, right? Because they said that's an actual life. So the same thing. How could you be 7 months and they have... I lost respect for that practice when they put that girl through that. And the mom, what really did it, I heard the girl screaming and stuff, and it was just like, oh my God, y'all couldn't believe it. I hate to even think back on the incident, but the mom was mean in her spot. She was like, I told her ass don't show up pregnant, and that's what the F she get. She didn't even care about all that screaming and stuff that was going on. That was ridiculous.
She was probably pregnant by a stepdaddy. That's why the mama was so mean.
So you done got the whole situation figured out, huh? You done took it back to Precious on us. The movie Precious. Monique was mad at that girl because her old man wanted her. If you don't knock it off, you done made the stepdad. That's why he was there. Oh my God, you done made the stepdad responsible. You see how this woman is? She's a troublemaker, y'all. How she took that whole scenario, got it figured out. You know what? You're dangerous. Let me go to my chat. This girl played too much. I think it depends on the circumstances of how she got pregnant. Absolutely. I may not agree, but it's the woman's choice, her body. Absolutely. And that's why I said we need to get down there and do the vote and make it count in November. Because they changing them laws. We need to know what's going on. We need to be in control. We need to make our voices heard. These are our bodies. How could somebody else make a determination as to what we can and cannot do? This is your body. That's crazy. Yes, Lisette, I see that. Yes, honey. So sad. And she probably is right. That's the sad part. She probably is right. All that analytical thinking she doing over there. She probably is right. But going back to what you said about your mom using other people's information, yeah, that was very popular back then. People would use other people's health insurance, and like I said, switch IDs with people and stuff like that. And they was going to get an abortion by any means necessary. But why wouldn't you just prevent it? My husband walks around saying this all the time. Prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure. And while a lot of people don't understand what he's saying, I'm like, think of the situation that he's talking about. And we can use this pregnancy thing. It's easier to prevent it than to have to come up with a way to resolve it. Prevention is better than cure. It's true. And that goes with anything. It's easier to prevent something from happening than it is to rectify it. I love when they walk around talk. I learn a lot from this man. He's funny in his delivery. But I learn a lot from him and his culture. And it gives me a different outlook and insight. I'm always hungry for knowledge and learning new things. And he's constantly feeding me new things. And I love that we brought my Southern culture and his Nigerian culture together. Telling you guys, it makes for a very interesting marriage. Even the disagreements we have, I laugh. It's funny. Because clearly I don't see it his way, or he don't see it my way, until we bring it to one another's attention. And then you're more mindful and respectful, especially if your goal is to make your marriage work and to stand solid. I'm telling you, back in my younger years, you couldn't tell me that I was going to end up with a foreign man. Because I told you I was a little feisty. I used to tell that man, like, the first guy, like, y'all might do that over there, y'all try, but we don't do that over here. Oh my God, I was out of control. I wish I could take that back. That was so mean of me. But I'm glad that I get it now. Kha'yair, go make sure the cord is plugged in, baby. It looked like one of y'all was messing with my cord now. I get it now. Push it in the wall, babe. Right here. Push it in. Let me know when you did it. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Wanted the baby, see? Turn your back and they try to unplug your stuff. But I was so mean to that man, y'all. I wish I could take it back. But I did apologize. Because since I've got married, they always seem to keep up with you on social media. And I don't know how they be finding me, but he found me. Actually, he found me through my email, because I still have the same old email. And he just sent the email one day. And it was there for months too. I felt so bad. And I just was going through my email, clearing out, because I'm not one that clear out my email a lot. But I just went through, and there was an email from him, and I was like, wow, after all these years. I'm talking about when I was like 29. So, of course, it was like, hey, don't know if you remember me. How could I not remember you? Boy, stop playing. But I was like, oh, I'm doing good. And he was like, how's Terrell, my son? And I was like, he's good. He's such and such years old now. And, it was funny. I was like, I'm a grandma. And it was just funny catching up. And I, of course, showed my husband. I tell my husband everything because I don't want no problems. But it was funny because I did tell him. He was like, are you still single? I'm like, after all these years? So I sent him pictures of my wedding. And when he saw the native, he automatically knew. And he was like, what? You look like one of our women for real. You look good in native. And he's a lucky man. They go there. So I knew I had to cut it. But I let my husband see the whole entire conversation. Right, girl. We don't want nobody flocking nobody. Listen, I tell Tony everything because you know how folk are. They troublemakers. And I don't want no problems. There's no secrets in my marriage. I'm going to tell you a story. When I was with my ex, the Ghanaian guy that I was with before Tony, I'm going to tell you a funny, this is how those foreigners, they so nosy and they start a lot of trouble. So, the guy was calling me one day. No, let me start it back. So, early in the morning, I was taking my son to what we call the high-speed speed line. And he was catching the train. So when he was getting out the car, he had his bag and stuff. So I had to pop the trunk. And I was out there and I gave my son a hug. This is my grown son, y'all. One of the men must have been like a hack and out there. And he saw us. So he called the guy I was dating at the time and was like, she was cheating on you. I saw her this morning. The guy must have spent the night with her because it was early in the morning and she was dropping him off at the train and they was out there hugging and kissing. Now I hugged my son. But you know, they gotta fabricate the story when they take it back. It gotta be real juicy and interesting. Call that man and messed up his whole day. Oh, the man was blowing my phone up. But I'm one that if I don't have the system through my radio, I'm not holding no phone up to my ear getting no tickets. So by the time I drove to work after dropping my son off, he blew my phone up. He must have called me 8 times. And when I finally made it to the job, in part, I was a little early because I always get early. So I called him back like, hey, you was trying to call me. He was like, oh, please tell me it wasn't true. I don't believe this. How could you? Like his mind was already made up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, what do you have on today? No, answer me. Answer me. What are you wearing? What color are you wearing? And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? No, don't try to get out of it. Get out of what? I'm still asking the question. What are you talking about? Dude, what color shirt do you have on? I said, red. Oh my God, it was you. It was you. He was carrying on. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? And he said, the guy told me he saw you with another man and this and that. And I was like, if you don't calm down. So I had to say to him, did you forget that I told you Terrell was down last night? That was Terrell. Oh, he was so embarrassed. And he called the man and cussed him out. But you wrong. You're wrong because he was carrying on, y'all. He was carrying on. TSG Uncut, welcome, King. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate having you. You say that's messy. Absolutely. Listen. They talk too much. I be telling you, see, you don't know men in the capacity that we do. We see the flip side of what you see. See, they your friends, they your buddies. Oh, but they be gossiping and stuff. And it's not just foreign men. American men do it too. Men can gossip. And that's the one thing I hate. A catty and chatty, feminine active man. I can't stand it. It is so annoying. Judith, am I right? Do men be giving each other...
Listen, they be worse than women sometimes. Worse than women, yes.
Listen, Sean, they be gossiping hard, Sean. Oh my God, those men, they be letting me down. That's why a lot of women take the male dominant role in those relationships because they act like little women. I can't stand it. But I will say it is a lot with foreign men. They gossip a lot. They hold on to stuff like women do. Like, Sean, the way you say women dangle stuff over your head and keep going and bringing up stuff. You thought y'all were past it, but they'll keep bringing it up again. That's how these foreign men are. That's the one thing I do not like. They be in their feelings too much. It be even co-worker relationship. I remember working with this guy. He was a Nigerian guy. And y'all ain't gonna believe this. So I was on my Facebook page and I wrote a post. And the post was simply, I was speaking to my nephews and my boy cousins and stuff, and I was saying to them, when you meet these new women, assess the situation. Pay attention to their mother, their aunties, their female cousins, and any of the female family friends that they have around, when she take you to meet them, listen to the conversations. Pay attention, because that's what you're getting. She's a product of her environment. They raised her. They groomed her. That's simply what I was saying in my post. And I said, I sure wish my son would have listened. Do you know my coworker read my post and went and reported me to the office that I was talking about him? Where the heck did you get that from? A Nigerian man. Where? He stopped speaking to me. He was angry. He was going around telling people on the grounds like she was talking about me on Facebook. And I'm like, is this man crazy? First of all, it's my personal Facebook page. And I'm simply, and I even put my maiden last name, and I addressed Chandler Men. Meaning I was talking to my people and my family, and this is what this man came up with. I'm telling y'all, this uncomfortable situation between me and him went on for about 4 months.
You didn't know it was a Chandler tribe in Nigeria.
I even said, I wish my son would have listened. I tell y'all all the time, I call my son Rock, the character off the TV show that brought trash home because of the choices in women that he made. I tell y'all that all the time. I'm an open book here. How in the heck did he get that I was talking about him? Clearly, I addressed the Chandler Men, and I said, I wish my son would have listened. Because it's true, when you're dating any woman, you got to watch what's going on around her, because that's what you're getting. So when you get in an argument with this woman, you're arguing with all of them, because they're in her head. They telling her her next move. That's why you got a lot of ignorant women, and I think I told y'all about a girlfriend that I have who's married to this man and have been married for some years. But they have been apart for some years too. They're still together in a marriage, but they're not living together. And so I said to her, like, do y'all even still, like, visit each other and sleep together? And she's like, no. And I'm like, so why y'all still holding on to this marriage? She's like, because if he died, because he's older now. If he died, ain't nobody else getting that. I earned that. That is such a crazy ghetto mentality. But, but this is how she was brought up, because this is a family where the mom and dad had 10 kids. And it was only 3 boys, so it was 6 girls. And this is the mentality they have. I can tell you that the mother, I grew up under them, never had a job. This was back, come on y'all, 70s, 80s, where welfare didn't push for you to go out and do no programs in the day. So these are the people that when I woke up in the morning to go to school, they were outside on their front step drinking coffee. During the day, and when I came home about 3 o'clock, they had their table set up. They out there playing dominoes and cards and stuff. By the end of the night, they boiling crabs and having seafood parties and stuff. And then they would get dressed and go across the street to my cousin's bar. I told you I had a cousin who had a bar right across the street. The mentality was ghetto. What did they do? These are the ones that never traveled anywhere. All they knew was Camden. That's all they went. They didn't even go to Delaware. You are a product of your environment. So when you have these older family members, and it be the women, putting all this foolishness in your head, you gotta know when you gotta do something different. You gotta look at them. See, this is where you could break the cycle. You see it ain't work out good for them, right? You see where they at. If you want to be just like them, do just what they tell you to do. Otherwise, you're going to have to do something differently. You're going to have to alter your mindset. If you want a better choice in a man, you're going to have to do things different. My advice would be, everything they do the complete opposite. It's so sad when you have women just passing down from generation to generation all this terrible advice. You ruining these young girls before they even have a chance. My thing is, tell them you lived your life. Let me find my way. You're right, there is no manual, no instruction book that come with this. So navigate through life. Do something different from everybody. If all your family's still on welfare and living in Section 8, and taking advantage of the system. Don't do that. They ain't go to college, then maybe you need to enroll. They mess with old men to get their bills paid, maybe you need not take that route. You see where it landed them, right? A lot of people I grew up with is still in the same spot doing the same things. Whenever I go back and visit my old neighborhood, they're still sitting on the steps, talking about each other, telling me who fought, who died, who this, who that, in and out of jail. And I'm talking about females still, because that's all they know. That's all they know. They don't want any better. They don't want to do any better. It's unfortunate. It's sad. Somebody got to break the cycle. I'm the one in the family that was never going to do what everybody else did. I'm the one that's going to go way over there and do something different. And again, like I was saying the other day, don't get mad when you see that sister doing great. Don't be a crab in the barrel and pull her down because when it came to the fork in the road, she made the better choice on which path to travel. Don't get mad at that sister and not want to give her a compliment. You're mad, and a lot of people are like, she changed. She didn't change. You changed the way you're looking at her because you're jealous now. I keep saying, when you see somebody do something and they're doing a great job, don't get jealous. Look at it like it's hopeful. That person gives me hope. If they can do it, I can do it. So don't get mad. Wait a minute, baby. Don't get mad at people for doing the right thing or making better decisions. It's not too late for you to make the necessary adjustments to make better decisions or put greatness on your life as well. Like, it's never too late. You can better yourself. Everybody have the ability to better themselves. That mindset. Got to change that mindset. The women in my family are all alone. Wow. They came up under my great-grandmother, who was an independent businesswoman. Her and my grandmother died. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There is a family that I grew up with in Camden. It's a woman, and she has 8 daughters. They all have babies. There ain't no baby dads around. The mom never had a man around. You know what's funny? All of those daughters were made between 2 brothers. They around there calling them guys Uncle Daddy. It's a joke. That's not funny. That's ignorance. They calling the guys Uncle Daddy because they know that this one is my dad, but this is my dad brother. Like, and they my sister, and he's my sister's father. It's sad. It's so sad. And no baby daddies. Nobody around. I don't even know if they get child support for those kids. There is no man that's going to stay around in that environment. It's too negative. It's too negative. Who wants to stay around that? Wanda, welcome in, Queen. Thank you for coming. Appreciate having you. Internalizing his own situation. Right, he made that post about him. I don't know if he had a situation going on in his life at the time, or that was just a bad day for him, or he was in that bad headspace. But he took a simple post off of my page and made it about him. The outcome was funny because I went right into the office and showed them my post, and they was looking like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I called this woman over here, and they was like, and then the boss, the big boss, was like, "That was some good advice. Are you a philosopher?" It turned into a whole different type of situation. But this fool, went and told the office staff that I was out there talking about him. Clearly. And I even showed them where I said I wish my son would have made better choices. I wish my son would have listened. Amanda Grace, welcome. Thank you for coming in, Queen. Appreciate having you. Yeah. We have to do better, women. We really do.
That's a good. I'm into breaking cycles. Same here. Generational curses. Break them off. Cut them off. Like I said, my childhood was Could have been way different than it was. I was I'm a calm factor. I choose calm and peace, and I always have. But I, like I said, I could have been out there. Um, I'm proud. My daughter was a virgin till she was 26. She beat me 27 times over. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. She marriage, children. That's how she wants to do it. She's not, looking at being nowhere near Tatiana. She's want to do it the right way, and that is great, and it's unheard of. It's not, and this is the way I'm talking about. I can see the generational curses being broken.
Thank you so much for popping in, TSG Uncut. I know he probably left, but just in case he watched back, want him to know I acknowledged him. Wanda, I grew up in my grandmother's house. She was the matriarch of the family. I never had a father figure growing up. Oh, wow. And neither did my cousins. Oh, wow. My mother and aunt were single parents. I want it better. Absolutely. Absolutely. Shh. I have a set of cousins. Like, they're all the first cousins. None of them are married. None of them are married. And they're envious of, like, me and my sisters and my other cousins and stuff that are all married. Like, they kind of separated themselves from us. It's like two different cliques, and we're all one big family. Like, what is the problem? So you're blaming me because you're not married? Like, I'm one of the last ones that got married. I really saved myself. I think I even shared with you guys, didn't think I was going to get married at one point. My goal was 35. As women, we make these goals. And when I didn't make it, I was fine and content. And then I got to a point where I was very content with my lifestyle and how things were going and being independent and not having to check in with someone. Because I just shared with you guys recently that when I got married, that was the hardest part for me, checking in with my partner. I was so used to being independent and making decisions simple as, Wanda, can you stay for overtime? Yeah. I was forgetting to call hubby and tell him I'm stay for overtime. I was just contacting my babysitter like, you okay with me staying overtime? She was like, yeah. I ran it by her and forgot to run it by him. Because I was securing the babies. In my mind, me making extra money is not a big thing, but I didn't take into account if he had plans or if he just wanted to spend time with his wife and the babies. Like, that was the hard part for me, making the adjustment of checking in with the other party. Everything else, taking on paying the bills, like with our finances and maintaining a home and all that kind of stuff, that part, no brainer. I got all that. I do that anyway. But checking in with my partner was the hardest part for me. But Wanda, I'm so happy. And you and your husband seem to be a beautiful couple. I'm so happy that you were able to make the difference for your little family. That's a beautiful thing. Because you want your children to see a man in the household. Or they're going to one day be sitting having the same conversation we're having today. There was no male figures around. And we all know, with children, rather they're little boys or little girls, teen boys or teen girls, or young adult, female or male, there needs to be a male figure around. It's unfortunate. So when you didn't have the father, you didn't have the uncles as a backup or a second resort. We had all of that coming up. Our families are old-fashioned and from the South, so all of the fathers was around. I know it's very common where there are some families where the fathers left to go get some bread or some milk and never came back. But my particular family, the fathers are dying out of the families. There are a few where, they separated or the father was out there and they just went. But for the most part, when you come to our family reunions, you see the husband and the wife and all their grown children and grandchildren because the father stayed. So it's not uncommon. I do know that when I got with hubby and I took him to meet my parents. He was amazed that was my real father. He was like, "You look just like him." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my dad." He was like, "Your birth dad, like you and your sisters, that's your dad." I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Unbelievable." It was a big deal. So he started telling all his Nigerian friends here, like, "I met Wanda's father." "What do you mean her father?" "Her father. Her dad or her mom's husband. Her father. He looks just like her." It was a big deal because in America, they didn't even know that families stayed together like that. They's like, "Well, how old is the mom?" They start asking questions. And so Tony, like, out of all the Nigerian friends that are married to American women here in our area, they look at us as like the most favorable couple. They look at us like Wanda and Tony give us hope. They don't argue. I'm like, "Yes, we do." "Well, you can't really be arguing because y'all never show any signs of distress." Like, they always say, like, out of all the men married to American women, Wanda and Tony give us hope, you know. And I'm going to tell you, they're like family. They're not like friends. If there is a problem, they're going to push for y'all to stay together. If, I don't know, let me just give an example. Like, Tony's with his friend and maybe he'll talk to his friend in confidence, like, "This is what we're going through." The friend is going to call me and he's going to talk to me. What can we do? Because it's now his problem too. That's how they are. They get involved. They want this thing to work. The one thing I don't like, they get down on their knees. They literally get down on their knees and be like, "Please, my sister, please." And I'm talking about my husband. If I'm mad at him and I'm walking around not speaking to him, he gonna drop to his knees and be like, "Please, please forgive me. It won't happen again." I don't like that.
And don't get it wrong, his friends are coming to beg on his behalf also.
That's what they do. It's the hardest thing in the world to break up with a Nigerian man, because you're with all of them. You know what they call me when I go to events, or they just see me in passing, or if Tony's on the phone, they'll take the phone like, "Hey, our wife," because you're our wife. You're everybody's wife. We're all married into this unit, and they mean that. If I go to a function, they're all bringing me drink. "What do you want to drink, our wife?" Like, you can tell when they really, really accept you and love you. And as a matter of fact, the next time I go to one of their functions, I'm going to turn the camera on and go live before I even get to the door. And I'm going to let y'all see the natural responses and the interactions. It's so unreal how warm and welcoming and inviting. And sometimes, even if you like, you know, sometimes in certain cultures, if you acknowledge something like, "Oh, I like that. That's really pretty." "Oh, you're taking it home. You're taking it home. Oh, it's yours now." Listen, if you come across financial problems, they're going to collect money and bring it to you. There's no obligation to pay it back. Any problem becomes our problem. The van that I had a van. One of Tony's good friends have a lot where he sell cars, fix cars, all that good stuff. He felt like she had 3 young kids. She need TVs, she need this, she need that, and he put me into the van that I am now. He's not going to charge me like he charged somebody that work up there. He didn't even take my other van. He was like, "No, you can have that as a second van in case something goes wrong with this van." And we worked that out. Did I tell you that man, as nice as it is, listen, it was paid off in 4 months. And I took it home the day that he showed it to me and I liked it. That's how they are. They like, "No, the kids got to be comfortable on road trips and this and that." That's how they are. They think like, she got those kids, we got to make sure she's comfortable. When my father passed, and they didn't even meet my father, the support was unreal. Was unreal. These people, I will never let them go. It's like what Tony say to me, "You could divorce me if you want, but I'm not divorcing your family. I'm not divorcing his friends. I'm not. Beautiful people. I love the culture. I love everything. Okay, Queen, I see you back, Deandra. Your mom and dad are still together. Yeah, I saw that, and my siblings share the same two parents. It's a beautiful thing. You don't hardly see that anymore. Yep, Wanda. Kids need male role models. They absolutely do. Positive male role models. Yes. That's a great circle you guys have. We really do. Listen, I don't have to say a word. When Tony and I planned our wedding reception at the 1 year, the gown you see that I got, the lady, I called her, and I was calling her to make the Nigerian cuisine. She was like, no, my sister, we can't do this on the phone. I can come to your house, or you can come. I said, well, me and Tony and the kids will come over and visit. And we went to sit down and talk about cuisine. Here she pulled out all different type of seamstress information and showed me gowns and all the different work. And before I knew it, my order was in for my gown, the fabric. She took care of everything because she's Nigerian, so she knew to contact people over there. So she made sure. We got to a third seamstress before it was all said and done, because if she wasn't satisfied, we was moving on to the next, and that's what happened. Hubby's native almost didn't make it on time. Oh, baby, they was on it. Listen, I didn't have I ain't got no contacts in Nigeria. Oh, but they was making sure. At the end of it all, Judith's first Nigerian guy, her guy number one, went and made sure it was shipped out, got the tracking information. Every morning when I woke up, because remember, their time zones is different, there was a text on my phone, MrsAmaechi, don't worry, your native is in, do you know such and such New Jersey? I'm like, yes, that's where it is. I'll let you know by tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Next morning I woke up, MrsAmaechi, your native is at this place. Do you know where it is? Yes, I know where it is. Okay, I'll alert you again tomorrow. For 7 days, this man kept telling me where that native was, because I kept saying to Tony, oh my God, what's going to happen if your native don't get here in time to match mine? I'm going to have a fit. You know, that was my biggest problem as a bride, that my husband's native wasn't going to make it, because they switched the tailor or the seamstress on his too. I told you we went through 3. Mine got here 5 months because she made sure she ordered it right away when we sat down. Tony was on relay like, I don't know exactly what kind of design I want in the front. Boy, time is winding down. You need to decide. That thing got here 3 days. 3 days before we needed it. He didn't even trust sending it to the cleaners to get it pressed. He was like, ain't no way in the world we gonna have something go wrong with this native again. But they took a swatch of my fabric to make sure he had the same identical native and everything. It was that very important. That woman hired somebody to come tie my hair because she wanted me tied with a Nigerian tie, not the ties that I do. They're different. So she had someone. I went to go get my cake. Y'all ain't ready for this. To take it over to the hall, I went and delivered my own cake because I didn't want nobody messing up my cake. They didn't have no delivery on Sunday. And so I had to go pick up my own cake and go take it to the hall. And then I came back to get dressed. And the girl to tie my hair was here waiting on me. I'm like, OMG. The makeup person was here. Oh, they was waiting on me. So, yeah, it was a fun day. It was funny looking back on it. But they made sure my stuff was straight. I didn't really have much to do because once the Nigerians got involved, they took care of everything, even the jewelry. And they had people the whole time I'm there. If you saw my upload while I was dancing, if my earring fell out, they like, where's your earring? I was like, it fell down there somewhere. Girl, they was all over the floor looking for my earring. When I went to the bathroom, they was all there holding my dress up for me. I'm like, it's not that deep. It's just a native gown. They was in the bathroom like, powder her face, freshen her up, retying my hair. Oh, that thing on my head. I went through 3 of them because they made sure they had extra. And it was so hot in that building. Even they opened the windows and stuff, but it was sweat. And that thing was taking a twist and a turn. But anytime they caught it and it was time for the photographer to take a picture. Oh, no. Let me tie her hair. Don't tie her hair like that. They was on it. They was watching the photographer. No. The picture's got to be good from every shot. They wasn't playing. They are beautiful people. They are very welcoming. I absolutely, whenever I go to another Nigerian gathering, I will go live and I will get footage from before I even go through the door so you guys can see the real natural reaction. Ladies, it's been good hanging out with y'all. It's Labor Day. Go eat some barbecue if that's what y'all gonna do. Back up, TJ. Let me get off of here, please. You're not dressed. I hate when y'all do that. I'm gonna end it. Tomorrow night, I should be on with Just Simply Rose, and we do have another lady that says she's interested in joining the panel. This is going to be one of our late nights. We're going back to 9 p.m. because I'm trying to get these kiddos settled before I can come on and have these topics. So this one is going to be about battling and dealing with major depression. So tune in if you can. We'll be here tomorrow. And then on Saturday, Ty, just to give you the topic for Girls Talk, Judith, who's on the panel with myself today, and me are going to be on. Judith, you want to tell them the topic, honey?
The life and styles of pudding. That's my nickname for y'all that don't know. She wants to touch on the subject of that 13-year female and female relationship.
So that's going to be a good one. Miss Judith is going to talk to us. I'm going to be able to interview her, and we're going to talk open and honest about a relationship that she had with a female. 13 and a half years. So we're going to learn, get her version of how that worked out. So thank you so much. Enjoy your Labor Day. I'm not doing anything except washing clothes, but that's okay. That's a reset for me, and it's going to make my week go easy. So ladies, again, if you haven't done anything to jumpstart this week and make sure it's a nice, smooth, seamless transition, get up off them couches, put them tablets down, put them books down, go get you some meal prepping done, go get you some laundry done, go lay out them uniforms, go do some ironing, do something. If you have everything done, relax, eat barbecue, chill. This is the last day, officially, holiday for the summer. Go enjoy yourselves. Love and respect to you all. Have a good one.